What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles submitted to the channel by Nerds Rising, an upcoming YouTuber who's running Poochyena in the Little Cup, and this Pokemon is absolutely insane. It's very attack weighted, it hits extremely hard, but it can also spam charge moves insanely fast with Snarl, Poison Fang and Crunch. Unfortunately, because of the Poison Fang nerf, it actually doesn't spam charge moves as fast as it used to, but it's still a massive threat in this meta, and I personally haven't seen anyone else running Poochyena, and it is absolutely insane. So we're going to be seeing him pair it with Dewpider in the lead and Skwovet as a safe swap, who's running Bullet Seed instead of Bite, which is interesting. It makes it a lot spammier, but we'll see how it works out. With that being said, let's get into the question of the day. Aside from the obvious choice in Bronzor, which Pokemon has been the most annoying Pokemon to face in the Little Cup this season? Let me know in the comment section down below, let me know why, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Dewpider into Alolan Sandshrew, Shadow Alolan Sandshrew at that. The opponent going to go for a Night Slash straight away before we can debuff them with Bubble Beam, and Night Slash does some decent damage, and if we don't get off this debuff, then a second Night Slash would pretty much take us out. But we go for the Bubble Beam, the opponent correctly no-shields it, and they are going to go for another Night Slash. We're now going to swap into our safe swap in Skwovet, go straight for that Body Slam before they reach another charge move, and the opponent actually shields it up and they swap into a Tackle Bronzor. Now we are running Crunch for coverage, but honestly, non-stab Crunch from a Pokemon that's also running Bullet Seed as the fast move, it's just not going to do that much damage over time. We're actually going to shield the Psyshock here. Interesting play. We, of course, do have that Poochyena, although the Poochyena is not going to resist the tackle damage, so it might not be the most comfortable matchup here. We are now going to let the Psyshock go through. It does take us out. We're now going to come in with the Poochyena here, and we're actually going to overfarm, correctly overfarming. The opponent tries to catch a move. We go for Poison Fang on to the opponent's Shadow Purloin, and then we catch the move perfectly onto our Dewpider. Very nice play there. We're going to overfarm, farm to the back-to-back Poison Fangs, and if they do if they do shield up, then we will make it to a second one. We win the CMP tie as well, and this Poison Fang will take out the Purloin. The opponent comes back in with their Shadow Alolan Sandshrew. I think we're going to have to try and shield and fully Snarl, farm them down. We get the farm down, we leave with a Crunch, and Crunch from this range will be enough to take out the Bronzor, and we take that game. So there you can see the absolute spam capabilities of the Poochyena in this cup. Into the next battle, we see Confusion Bronzor this time, and we're going to safe swap into our Skwovet. Not throwing straight away, the opponent throws on alignment, allowing us to get a full Bullet Seed through, and now we will severely outpace them to the charge moves. We go for a Crunch, going to be able to make it to a second Crunch in time. And the opponent actually does use a shield there, and unfortunately we barely don't make it to a third Crunch in time, but we did grab a shield advantage, or not advantage as we did use the shield initially. We actually lived the Psyshock there. The opponent then makes a great catch into Dino, catching the Crunch there, and they also do make it to a charge move, so that's really nice for the opponent, not so nice for us, but we will come out with a Bubble Beam loaded. Gonna instantly swap into our Poochyena, and the opponent comes back in with the Confusion Bronzor, and this is a really dominant matchup. Gonna go for the Crunch here, and this, from this range, Crunch actually grabs the shield, and we get the defense drop, so we're gonna shield here. The opponent is running Payback, so he would have lived it, but they swap into a Shelmet, and that is not ideal for us. We're going to go for that Poison Fang, and we will make it to the Crunch in time, and Crunch, they have now been debuffed, so Crunch will do big damage to the Shelmet. We're going to let the charge move go through. Of course, we have no shields remaining. Body Slam takes us out, but we're able to Bug Bite, farm down the Shelmet. We will make it to a Bubble Beam, throwing at the correct time there, just before the confusion damage registers, and now we're going to be able to get to another Bubble Beam up against this Bronzor, and from this range, Bubble Beam takes out the Bronzor, and we take that game. Into the next game, we see Dino in the lead where we want to see it with this team. The opponent swaps into a Seal, we respond with our Skwovet, and now Bullet Seed is actually coming in handy as it does do super effective damage, and it allows us to spam these Body Slams insanely fast. pretty much exactly the same as the evolution in Greedent here. Gonna farm to the back-to-back body slams, and this will not take out the seal, but we can live a charge move here quite comfortably, so we will let it go through, and we should be able to fully bullet seed, farm them down, come out with 2 more body slams loaded. They come back in with the dino, and we hopefully will be able to get off both body slams here. We get off the first one, we get to the second one in time before the Dragon Breath damage takes us out, and we grab a shield from the dino. We now come in with the Dewpider. We're going to go for a Bubble Beam up against this Shadow Vulpix, and we're going to swap and catch the charge move onto our Poochyena, and that actually does quite a lot of damage, but we barely make it to the Poison Fang in time. This will be taking out the Vulpix. Actually, they do use a shield, but we should just be able to farm them down with Bug Bites, even though it's resisted. We have debuffed their defense now, and can we get the farm down? Yes, we can. Unfortunately, the charge moves are both going to be resisted, so we're just going to go for that Bubble Beam straight away, debuff their attack, and we should be able to Bug Bite, farm down the Dino, and take that game. Into the next game, a pretty neutral lead up into a seal, and we are both hitting for neutral damage with the fast moves, but the charge moves aren't going to do much damage. They debuff us with an Icy Wind. We swap into Skwovet, we bait out a Shelmet, which the Poochyena does not want to see. Gonna go for the crunch, it will do more damage, and it has a chance to debuff the defense. Unfortunately, we don't get that debuff, but we're gonna go for a Body Slam straight away. And at this point, I think we're just going to let the Skwovet go down. If they full send the Bug Buzz, then it would probably take us out, but they don't, so we do let the Body Slam go through. We live it very comfortably, get to another Body Slam, and we're forcing the opponent to throw their energy. They go for a Body Slam, we still live it, and they have to throw back-to-back moves. As you see, we would have made it to the Body Slam in time, so that's really nice for us. The opponent comes in with a Chin Chow. We're going for a Bubble Beam bait, and the opponent does let it go through, so not ideal for us, but we do debuff their attack, meaning Poochyena will comfortably survive these attacks a lot better. We go straight for the crunch, it actually takes out the Chin Chow. That was insane damage. We're now going to come in, they're going to come in with the Shelmet. We go for a Snarl, farm down, we get the farm down. They come back in with the Lick Seal. We go for a crunch, we grab a shield from the opponent, gonna overfarm, go for another crunch. How much damage will it do? It nearly takes out the seal, and we can just come in, Bug Bite, farm down the seal, and take that game. Into the next game, another seal in the lead. Probably going to play this out exactly the same. Let them throw an Icy Wind. They're actually going for an Aqua Tail this time, it looks like. So we will just let it go through and then swap into the Skwovet once again. We are double resisting the lick damage. Gonna go for a Body Slam. We will be able to spam the Body Slam insanely fast. That actually does a lot of damage, but we're not going to threaten with the Bullet Seed fast move. So we do have to throw another Body Slam to take them out. The opponent doesn't know how much energy we have, and they throw pretty much straight away. They also go for the crunch there, so that's really nice for us. We know we will be able to take them out with the Bug Bites before they get to a charge move. They come back in with the seal, gonna go for that Mirror Coat. Unfortunately, Mirror Coat not the best move. You've seen it on Why Not. We are now going to let the Dewpider go down, but actually I think we should still live this, and yes, we do live it. We save the Dewpider, going to go for a farm down with Snarl up against this seal, and the fact that they're staying in is going to be really advantageous for us, because we get a massive farm down. They come in with Bronzor, and there's just no way the opponent can win this game now. We go for a crunch, it does about 40% of the health from that Bronzor. We go for a second crunch, and we will easily make it to a third crunch. The opponent knows that, so they let it go through, and we take that game. Into next battle, we see a Shelmet in the lead. Don't really know how this matchup goes. I think we're just going to go for that Bubble Beam straight away, debuff their attack before they can go for the hard-hitting moves here. And we're going to let the charge move go through. They do go for the Bug Buzz. That actually does quite a lot of damage, even debuffed. And they will make it to a Body Slam, but we can live this quite comfortably now. With that debuff, we now swap into our Skwovet. Going to go straight for the Body Slam. No, we actually overfarm here. And we throw just before they make it to another Bug Buzz. The opponent actually uses a shield here, so we will now shield up. And the opponent does bait us with a body slam, and we're going to overfarm. We know that we can tank a body slam debuffed very comfortably here. So we're now going to overfarm. They come in with a dino. We've got so much loaded energy. We go for the body slam, grab a shield here, going to overfarm, go for another body slam. And if they go for the farm down, we might make it to a third body slam in time. Yes, we do. And this will grab the final shield from the opponent. Actually, no, they don't have any shields remaining. What on earth am I talking about? And once again, going to shield in this matchup, look to snarl, farm down the Shelmet, and we are able to farm them down once again, and once again it's a Bronzor in the back, and this is going to be another very comfortable matchup for Poochyena there. We go for the crunch, going to go for another crunch, and we should even make it to a third crunch before they get to the next charge move. And we're actually going to go for the Poison Fang instead. Doesn't really make much of a difference here. It actually doesn't take them out, but there's nothing they can do there. We're able to snarl, farm them down, and take that game. Into the next battle, we see Bronzor in the lead this time. They're also running Confusion, and we're going to come in with the Skwovet once again, not throwing straight away, meaning we get a Bullet Seed through. They go for the Side Shock. We're going to be able to get to the back-to-back crunches. Will we be able to grab a shield here? We actually get the defense drop finally with a crunch, and that's great. Second crunch actually does a lot more damage, and we're going to be able to make it to a body slam in time. Have they been counting correctly? No, they do end up shielding it. They commit to the full Confusion farm down, but with a shield advantage, this is going to be looking very nice for our Mightyena here. Oh, sorry, Poochyena. We're going to come in and we will shield the payback. That would be resisted, but probably still do a decent amount of damage. It isn't the bulkiest Pokemon. They're going to come in with Why Not now, and we do have quite a lot of energy, so we go for that crunch. We swap, and they've got Dino in the back, and this is really great for us. We'd love to see Dino here. We go for the Bubble Beam, we actually grab a shield. The opponent clearly has no idea what charge moves this Dewpider can run because they're all going to be resisted. We're now going to be able to fully farm them down, go straight for a Bubble Beam here, not committing to that Mirror Coat. Actually, Mirror Coat's resisted, what am I talking about? Yeah, that is definitely the correct play there. We're now going to let this move go through, and it doesn't take us out. We're going to swap out, making sure they don't farm us down. Very nice play, and it allows us to get to the crunch in time. We're going to undercharge it. It still takes out the Why Not, and we take that game. Into the next game, we see a Vulpix in the lead. Pretty neutral lead here. Unfortunately, Bug Bites are resisted, but it's a one-turn move, so it's not that bad. They go for a Weather Ball. It's neutral. We're going to go for a Bubble Beam, but the opponent catches it really nicely onto a Ducklet. Very nice catch there. We come in with Skwovet. They're actually running Water Gun Ducklet. Very interesting. Wing attack generally is a lot better, but Water Gun does have its better matchups here. We're going to go for another Body Slam before they get to a Brave Bird. It's actually a CMP tie, so we will let it go through. And the opponent actually running Aerial Ace here, so very interesting from the opponent. We're now going to go for another Body Slam, and this will be enough to take out the Ducklet. They come in with a Confusion Bronzor, and this is going to be another great matchup for our Poochyena here. We go for the crunch, doesn't get debuff once again, doesn't really matter though. Gonna shield in this matchup, and Snarl combined with crunch and Poison Fang is just so spammy. Gonna go for the first crunch here, and crunch does go unshielded. We're able to snarl, farm them down, and they come back in with their Shadow Vulpix. We go straight for that Poison Fang, getting a debuff. Actually, it wasn't a Shadow Vulpix. I have no idea what I'm talking about here. Gonna let the charge move go through, and we should be able to snarl, farm them down here, and take this game. And that's exactly what we do. Into the next battle, we see a Why Not in the lead. Gonna stay in with the Dewpider. The opponent swaps into Seal. We're gonna farm up and probably force them to throw their energy straight away, and then swap into the Skwovet, which is gonna have a very dominant matchup. And that's exactly what we do. And as well, because of that extra Bug Bite damage, we might only need to land one charge move here, and we should be able to fully Bullet Seed, farm down the Seal, and come out with a lot of loaded energy. And that looks like it's exactly what we're going to go for here. We can live this. An Aqua Tail should take us pretty low, but not low enough. They come back in with the Why Not. We're going to go for a crunch here. We have the back-to-back crunches loaded. First one doesn't do that much damage, but we do get the defense drop, and a second crunch will do significantly more damage. Gonna come back in with the Dewpider, go for a Bubble Beam just before they get the energy to go for their own charge move. The opponent actually swaps into a Shadow Stunky, and this is a bit tricky here. We go for a Bubble Beam, the opponent lets it go through. We can now come in with our Poochyena, go for a Crunch, and both moves are resisted, by the way, so it does make sense, but honestly, I think they were low enough where we could have just gone for Poison Fang. Gonna shield their own Crunch. Crunch doesn't debuff us. We're gonna farm to the back-to-back charge moves, go for that Poison Fang. This will easily take out the Stunky, and we've got the Crunch loaded. Very nice awareness there. Crunch takes out the Why Not, and we take that game. Into the next game, we see Dino in the lead. Gonna be a quite a nice matchup. The opponent swaps into a Wooper, and this is a really good matchup as well. We're going to let this move go through and then swap into our Skwovet, and this is where Bullet Seed is very handy. It's double super effective damage. They go for a Body Slam here. We're gonna overfarm, go for that Body Slam, and this should put them into range where we can farm them down. Actually, no, it just fully takes them out. Wow, okay. Didn't realize that was gonna be the case. We go for another Body Slam. Body Slam grabs a shield from the Dino, and we barely don't make it to another Body Slam in time, but that's fine. We're going to go straight for the Bubble Beam here up against the Dino, and the opponent does correctly no shield it, knowing they can tank any charge move quite comfortably. They go for Body Slam, and they swap into Confusion Bronzor, and this is going to be very, very nice for our Poochyena here. Going to shield in this matchup. It's just going to be a Side Shock, but it doesn't matter. We've got 2 shields. We might as well start using them. We're going to go for that Crunch. Crunch, going to do big damage. We get the defense drop, and we should be able to fully snarl farm them down if we want to. We're going to let this next move go through. We have been counting. It is just a Side Shock. Going to go for that full farm down. We get the farm down. We have a billion energy. We go for that Poison Fang. Poison Fang, going to grab a shield, and we can go for another Poison Fang, and this, with the debuff, will easily take out the Dino, and we take that game. And into the next battle, the final battle, I believe. We're going to be leading into a Ducklet. Very bad lead for us. Gonna say swap into the Skwovet. Go straight for that Body Slam before they can get off a Bubble Beam or try and go for that Brave Bird. They do now have enough energy for the Brave Bird, so we let it go through. Brave Bird completely one-shots us, which is not ideal, but we are going to come in with the Poochyena here. Go for that Poison Fang. No, we don't quite get to there in time. They're going to go for a Bubble Beam. I think we might just commit to the full Snarl farm down. Can we get it? No, unfortunately not. We're going to have to shield the second Bubble Beam, and we are going to be double debuffed in the attack. They come in with Dino. We swap out into Dewpider, and we have to let this charge move go through. We can't really afford to use both our shields already. And they come in with a Wooper. We're going to go for that Bubble Beam. And can we grab a shield finally in this matchup? Yes, we can with the Bubble Beam. That's absolutely massive. We're now going to let the charge move go through. Put it all on the Poochyena to close. Going to go straight for that Crunch. A bit risky here. Crunch does actually grab a shield. And now we should be able to overfarm in this matchup. They go for a Body Slam. Going to go for 2 Snarls. Perfect gameplay there. We go for the Crunch now. Crunch takes out the Wooper, and we go for the Crunch. Even though it's resisted, it will do more damage. And Crunch takes out the Dino, and we take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. As well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, first of all, subscribe to this channel, but also go over to Nerds Rising's channel and subscribe to his channel because he puts out a lot of insane content just like this. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we got Baxter Fraser who says, Pawnyard, it is my favourite because Confusion is triple resisted, also tackle, and it wins in all even shields up against Bronzor. So a very strong Bronzor counter. Unfortunately, very difficult to obtain for the Little Cup, but if you do have it, that's going to be one of the best answers to Bronzor. Next, we got Jamie Finn, who first of all gives a shout out to his boy J Money, who was featured in my previous video, so if you haven't seen that already, go check it out. But for the question of the day, he says, Shadow Purloin, if you don't know, you'll soon find out. And if you've seen any of Jamie Finn's videos with Shadow Purloin in the Little Cup, that thing absolutely dominates Bronzor, and it is very satisfying to watch. Next, we got Quiet Pebble, who says Hisuian Growlithe. This is another Pokemon that's very difficult to obtain, a Pokemon that I actually had at one point, but I did recently evolve it into a Great completely Hisuian Arcanine, which is unfortunate because it's a very strong counter, especially to tackle Bronzor in the Little Cup. And as for my opinion, I'm going to go with Vullaby. It's the prime Bronzor counter that I've been running. It has helped me gain nearly 600 elo and get into the 2600s, but what I have noticed is that pretty much every Bronzor is now running Tackle and Heavy Slam, and there are a few Bronzors that are non-XL or just slightly XL that reach an attack breakpoint with Tackle, where it now deals 2 damage, and that actually is enough to flip the matchup in the 0 and the 2 shield scenario. So even Vullaby, the Pokemon that I said was the hardest wall to Bronzor, can struggle up against it with these attack weighted Bronzors. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.